Hey guys, Crystal here, and welcome to a B-roll style video. I figured I'd do something a little bit different, mostly because I couldn't think of what I was going to say for this video until, basically right now. It's about sometime in February/early March, in the same time I was getting ready to go have surgery to get my gallbladder removed, we decided to move in with my grandmother to give us a bigger space for a lot less money, because we were basically living in a hole in the ground that had so many problems for way too much money that moving in with my grandmother sounded like an absolutely brilliant idea. So shortly after I was recovered from my surgery, we actually started packing, and that was around the early end of May. I think I was actually happier packing through this move than I was moving from the apartment that I hated to leave into this teeny tiny itsy bitsy place. And it's definitely a different energy for sure. It's not complete self-interest. We're also helping out my grandmother, so it's a win-win for both sides, and yeah. Honestly, looking back at the time in that apartment feels like such a dreamscape that, like, I don't understand how it actually happened. I spent so much of that time just unwell and, trying to figure out how to fix the issue, and then the issue got fixed, and now I'm going through this, like, resurgence of physicality and eating, like, not only healthy but, like, well, like, more than 3 meals but balanced, and, like, stuff is starting to work. And half of the reason I feel like is because we got out of this dank hole. We also found out while we were moving out of the apartment, like cleaning it up after everything was unpacked, that our apartment was moldy. So we think that's half of the reason why I got so sick so, like, quickly. Even though, like, yeah, gallbladder stuff I don't think really has anything to do with mold, but, like, that wasn't the only thing that was happening. It was just the big thing. And so yay for not being sick. Also, one thing I was super happy about is while packing and moving, and I got to take many kitty breaks, because while I was recovering from the surgery, I wasn't allowed to have her on my stomach, and so I missed out on so many cat cuddles because she wanted nothing more than to snuggle up with me while I was recovering. And that's the old space with all of our stuff out of it when we were cleaning it up. And we ended up, that's our bedroom, on the 3rd floor with an actual window. Hell yes, sleeping in a place with actual sunlight is so nice. And our basement office space was actually quite lengthy, and it's so nice. I can't wait just for you guys to see the after, because the after just it's so comfortable here. And I have a rough time with the words, but I love how I was able to organize the books the way I wanted to, and they actually felt better instead of being, like, on my side. I love having my books as a backdrop now. And unlike when I reorganized my bookshelf back at the old apartment, I didn't like how the footage came out. I was really self-conscious. And now I'm not. And this is now my space, and it's nice, and it was covered in boxes. It took 3 whole days to get everything kind of packed and situated, and there was a lot of stuff going on at the same time. We had, like, a yard sale to get rid of a bunch of old stuff, because where I'm living has one, like, once a year. And we were able to get rid of a couple things, not a whole lot. Most of it went to the Salvation Army, because, in this economy, spending money? What? I had to laugh because while sorting through the House of Night books and trying to like figure out what order they're in, because I haven't touched them since whichever the most recent one on that shelf came out. We found a bunch of old pictures and then ended up just talking about kind of where they came from and stuff like that. And I realized as like I'm going through all of these books and stuff is how my tastes have changed, and how like many books that I bought in my early 20s, like all of the romance books from like Carrie Arthur and Christine Fian, I think I'm saying that right. Like I used to really, really be into those, and now I probably wouldn't touch them in a 10-foot pole. And it's just really funny, kind of just seeing how stuff changes as my tastes have changed. Some of it's really stayed the same. I love fantasy books. I never finished the Aragorn series. Sorry, friends. They're my husband's anyway, so they're just really pretty covers. And since they're my husband's books, he totally had to help me. Even though I could have, just looked at the back of the last one, which is what I did in order to organize the Christine Fian books, because there were so many, and it was really fun to sort through them, she says sarcastically, as I thought I had them all, but was missing a couple. But I also stopped reading that author in like the early 2000s, so it's just like I'm missing one of the Interview with the Vampire books. I think it's The Queen of the Damned. I swear I bought it, but it's nowhere. And of course, little Azzy has to come and help sort and sniff and check and, sit in the shelves on occasion. I decided this time to take inspiration from like other author tubers and booktubers that I watch and put my art in with the books, like my statuary and stuff. All the dragons that you see here were actually on the top of the bookshelves, covered in dust and, just left. And yeah, this is my office, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I say office, it's also our living space, so Tubby's computer's here too. But this is our space.
So you wanted to see my office? That's my office. Kind of.
Also makes me happy as it got super settled in super quick. I mean, it took her a few months before she got to the main floor, but it was a couple of weeks before she was, tail up, curling up, being an absolute ham. Of course, it being really hot in the summer, she wanted all of the condensation all of the time because I had ice in my iced coffees, obviously. And she returned really quickly to her administrative duties as my editor assistant while I worked on implementing and making notes for edits for Project Incarnate, which is currently in the publishing process, as I've talked about before. And as of actually right now, it's gone in for another round. I was finding so many editing goofs like this one here. It did end up on Instagram and on TikTok. And yeah. One of the great things about being in a third floor bedroom now is watching the storms that have been happening off and on the summer. Like, even Azzy has some sun basking time, and then she cools off on this vanity that belongs to my grandmother. Well, also belongs to my cousin, but it's currently occasionally her cat bed, and she loafs a lot, like the diva she is, as is deserved. After what has felt like the most chaotic year and a half of my life, it's finally starting to calm. I was able to get the edit notes done in June and July, as well as actually implement them and get a book cover done. And hopefully after this next round of edits is done, I can actually start working on publishing Project Incarnate TBD. It's nice to finally feel like I'm making progress instead of just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. So keep an eye out on social medias for that. And until next time, I love and appreciate every single one of you. And we'll see you guys in the next video, stream, reel, wherever the hell it is you find me next. Bye, guys.